did 30 years in the Air Force too, and when he told me, you don't have to work, you don't have to worry about all that, I'm gonna go back and work. I just allow myself to imagine and dream of what I wanted to do with my time. So I have a 16-year-old son, and so I know many of us have children still that are, marrying and raising, and maybe they're off in college. And I have the flexibility to move and navigate if I want to. So we're in seasons that we may have never been in before, but we have the time to work on us, to really think about what we want to do with all the experience that we have. We're not going to turn you into somebody that you're not. This is just fully expressing who you are at your core. So when I retired, and so you'll see this is just one of maybe 5 I think I've had out so far. But I'm just telling you that you can also do the same types of things. And with AI, it's so, I mean, you can have and create something that you've already lived through to help someone. So I'm in a meaningful impact. I want to do purposeful things. I don't want to be wasting my time doing other things. Like the politics stuff, I don't even, I watch, but I'm not watching. You know what I mean? Because I have another way to express myself and to help others. So we're going to talk about some advocacy work. We're going to talk about you first, so that way you can kind of find your way and guide your way to whatever you're trying to do in your next level of success. So ladies, what you have in your package right here, you're looking at the elevate your image. That is what Rochelle was talking about. Also, I have another wellness journal that's in there. I also have a book that I recently published called COMMAND, and that is talking about AI, how we as women, entrepreneurs, actually learn how to scale our businesses, but stress less and soar holistically in this age of AI. Some of you may have that book in there. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but when we get into AI, that's gonna be a little bit later on. I'm gonna show you some stuff, and you're gonna be like, oh, this is really nice what she just showed us. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to showing y'all that in a little bit. But first, I wanna get into, I guess I'll get into vision first, and then you'll go into the play. Okay. All right, so, somebody tell me, what does vision mean? Vision, the word vision. Everybody know Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 3 through 5. Write the vision, make it plain. What do y'all think it means?
Roadmap.
It's a roadmap. It's a roadmap. You can't know yourself if you don't have vision. You gotta know what your vision is. What do you know about you? What do you like about you? What do you don't like about you? What do you need to change? Where are you at right now at this time? What do you need to do physically, emotionally, socially, financially? All of these different things are part of your wellness, but you have to have vision. You have to be able to write it down and make it so plain that not just you, but your sister, your friend, your family member, your spouse, they can pick it up and they can run with it because they know exactly what you need. They know exactly what your vision is. They also have that buy-in. But if you don't know where you're going, people can't be with you. People can't help you if you don't know yourself. So as women, it's where we have to take time to understand what that vision is. So, yes, we have AI tools that can help you to amplify it, but first you gotta have an idea, a clue first. Cause the AI just gonna give you whatever you put into it. And if you don't know, you're not gonna get information back. So the first thing is, when it comes to vision, is what do you need to stop right now? Because a lot of us as women, what do? We carry a whole lot with us. We do everything for everybody else. And sometimes we don't take care of ourselves. And we gotta ask ourselves the hard questions. What is it that I need to stop right now? My vision. What is my vision for the next year? The next 5 years? The next 10 years? What is your vision? Who knows it? Have you even wrote it down? Anything that you keep in your mind,
can go away. But when you write it down and you can see it, and you speak it, and you meditate on it, and you reflect on it, then that's how you bring those things to life. So I just want everybody to understand how important your vision is. So I'm gonna have some homework for you to do. I always give out homework. Anybody who knows me know I do homework. All right, we back in school. And so we need to know, write this down, I need to stop. Or type it or whatever. What it is I need to start. What is draining my energy? What is taking up my time? What are the repeatable tasks that AI can do for me? I am also going to show you some resources you're going to have later, but I'm going to add something to that resource for you when it comes to vision, because I want you to also think about for your vision. What is it that you need to do in the next year, 5 years, 10 years, physically, emotionally, socially, financially, and also when it comes to your family. And physically, emotionally, socially, financially, and family. And when I say emotionally, that deals with mental, emotional health, all that.
And before you listen to that, what was the heading over there?
Your vision for the next year, 5 years, or 10 years. Why do y'all think we need to do that?
So we can stay on track.
Okay, stay on track. Anyone else?
If it's written down, it's in
We
there.
have a clear
Will.
vision.
You have yes, you have accountability as well. Accountability. So along with those questions, who's going to keep you accountable? So I have to tell y'all right now.
You already know.
Yes, your sisters. You have to have community to stay accountable. So find out who is your accountability partner. And that accountability partner don't have to be the same person for everything. You can have multiple accountability partners. But we need that, especially, again, in this shifting world where things are changing all the time. You need to have that community there to support you. And when I say community, I have to say this, the right community. Because every community is not the right community for you. And you have to know who you can trust. And you have to give that trust back, because trust is not a one-way street. It has to be respect, but also it has to be honesty. Sometimes when we get in communities, we're not honest. We like the whole rah-rah stuff, but you need community where people will tell you when you mess up, that they let you know you mess up. But they're gonna say it in a way that's gonna help you and it's gonna be constructive so you can get back up and do the right thing. They're not gonna lead you astray, lead you out there. They ain't gonna talk bad about you. They ain't gonna compete with you or anything like that. I just say that because we know we have women out here that do that. But we don't have time for that. Because we got other things that we need to continue to do as we're on our path. And our vision is the most important thing.
So you talk about vision, writing a plan, looking at it. So for someone who's like, I don't even know where I need to start at, this is where I introduce you into this method. Okay, so slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to know. To be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is a mindset. So you can be and do anything. We tell our kids this all the time. I tell my 16-year-old, you be anything you want. You just have to put the work in it to get there. But sometimes we get that for ourselves. Because we get to a certain point favorite word was slay. So I went on a deployment, and I thought about it, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna use this word. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for, but when I retired, I realized I could name it my business. Slay to success. And anything that I talk through, I can now put an acronym, I mean, it's in a whole acronym. Now, it was, stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, you are built to last. But it evolved like we evolve. We're ever changing. And I started to see a season where I can actually start teaching principles that you can apply to make you stand out amongst everyone else. Because as women leaders, because I'm calling each of us women leaders, we have a duty, we have a responsibility to lead the others that are behind. They're looking at us. They want us to put the flag up and say, follow me. They want it because there's so much out there. There's so much going on. Young girls, I always think about young girls. I have 2 nieces, well actually 3 nieces. And I think about them and our family, and it's like, well, who are they following? I have one niece who loves to wear the color pink. And I said, well, why are you wearing pink? Because you are. And it really started to think about, so I took on the color pink. I wear pink every day. Some color, form, fashion is somewhere in the outfit. I wanted to be more kind to myself. I wanted to be more empathetic. I wanted to be more approachable. These are characteristics of a persona. If you're talking about personal branding, it's your appearance, it's your behaviors, it's your communication skills, or the communication modalities that you're going to use, because we're building platforms. That's what we're doing. And then lastly is the digital presence, which no one likes to be on. Every time I have someone that I'm working with, they're like, oh gosh, here we go, we gotta get to this social media.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, you do. Because you have to make people, and not make them, but you have to have them know what you do. You can't be the best at secret. And you have to have a sense about how you develop your digital presence. Now, I don't use it necessarily to talk about all the things that I'm eating and where I'm going and this and that, especially when I'm on LinkedIn. Those that are following me, you know on LinkedIn, I'm very purposeful in there. I'm attracting other women to amplify their voice. Period, point blank. I hear the fan.
I know, I want that word. I'm right with you.
So, the slay method, okay, so let's just think about how, okay, because this is where we can start to really think about what we want to do with our brand, because each one of us has a brand. Strategic identity is the letter S, and I say that is, who do you want to become? What do you want to be known for? Not necessarily where you're at right now. I am trying to become her. And when I say become her, it's that future Rochelle, the future slay queen. What is she looking like? How am I gonna get there? That's how you need to think about your identity. Because a lot of people tell us to go find ourselves. We're past that, all right? We're moving forward, right? So in the next 5 to 10 years, it's a legacy building. What do you want others to know about you when you're gone? Because we're not gonna all be here for the rest of our lives. And what are the steps that you're gonna take every day? The L is leadership presence. Leadership presence is how you carry yourself into a room. You don't have to say anything. I barely say anything when I walk into new rooms. I do it on purpose. I want to be accountable for me. I don't want to shrink. I don't want to hide. So you have to think about what are those characteristics or the behaviors that you can exhibit in that moment. Because you want opportunities to attract, okay? You don't want to be chasing anything down. The A is for aesthetic authority. And that is anywhere from what you are wearing to how you're communicating on email I give everybody grace, okay? But I had to learn to take out my receipts and stuff that I had in my purse, okay? Cause I'd be going somewhere and I'm digging in the purse, and I'm looking all nice and everything, and then all these receipts are coming out like I'm disorganized, So I have to make a conscious effort every time I go out to take the receipts out, throw them away, or get whatever I need to do with them. So while when I'm out and about, I don't present, because we don't want to look like we're in a struggle. Okay? Again, we are the leaders that people want us to be. And the why is your narrative power. It is the power of your story and your experiences. No one can take that away. You went through them, you experienced those feelings, it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. And when you can come out of that healing area, because there is some healing to trauma, when you can come out of that space and be able to share it with others, you have no idea who you're gonna free. You're gonna free someone. So when I talk about the slave method, it is to really think about, how do you want to present yourself to the world? And how do you want to maintain that and sustain that for longevity?
So, my sister talked about the slave method, and I love that because it's all about presence. How do you elevate yourself, your image? But one thing that we gotta be able to do, because I'm gonna say this, because it is all black women in here. Oh, I have to say this. Okay, I gotta say this. Sometimes we too darn humble. I'ma say it again. We use being humble as a crutch a lot. And we got to think about it. A lot of times we don't want to move forward, and we don't want to brag on ourselves. And I'm one of them people, and I'm learning to brag on myself more, is because we feel like in order to be humble means that people are really going to be able to relate to us. And I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why a lot of other people that's outside of our community can make it, first of all, they fake it because they don't know what the heck they doing most of the time. But they know how to not be humble. You can be humble still and still get your point across and brag about yourself. That's not showing that you're arrogant. That's just showing that you're in line with who you are. So instead of thinking it's about being arrogant, think about it as being aligned with being able to articulate, to be able to share all of the things, all the experience that you do. The next thing is you don't have to perform, but you do need to position yourself in spaces and places where you can grow, where you can achieve, where you can get other opportunities. So don't be afraid to go into those spaces that you thought you could never go into. Yes, a lot of times it may be only us. You may be the only black woman in the place. Trust me, we all been there. We all been there. And we're gonna continue to be there. But we still can't shrink ourselves when we go into those spaces. And so that's why you gotta be able to brag on yourself. And I'm bringing that up because this is the other part of your homework that I want you to do. Y'all know I'm giving you homework. Alright, I need you to write down 5 to 10 things about yourself that you need to brag on and tell yourself every day that you are amazing because of these things. Then I need you to look at that same list, and when you talk to other people and introduce yourself, you gotta be able to brag, use something from that list to brag about yourself. So I'm gonna say something about me that's I don't really brag about all the time. And I'm gonna say this for our military people. It don't have to be military related. It does not have to be military related. Cause that's what we lead with, because that's what we know, cause that's everything that we've done. But trust me, is so much more to you than military. So much more. So, I can say this about myself, that I actually was a part of an award-winning team at Central Federal Services that won $100 million contract. I don't talk about it a lot. I had to go through the whole proposal thing, everything. I actually was one of the key people that helped to win that contract. Not that many people can say that they were on a large contract like that, and I don't talk about it a lot, but that's something I can brag about on myself, that I did that. Like, I was the only black woman in the room that was on the team that really made a difference, and when I spoke, they were happy to have me speaking in the room. Because I'm gonna be honest, I know me, I can brag about this too. When I speak, I know people listen. And you gotta know that quality about yourself. You gotta know what qualities that you have that people will relate to, that they will resonate with. So don't be afraid to brag on yourself. So, I gave y'all homework though. We're gonna kinda do this real quick. I want each person, we're gonna go around one at a time. Say something. Okay. One thing, just tell us, brag about something you done accomplished, did, anything. It could be something personal. What is it?
I was commissioned by Ayana Banzan to do, 500 candles for her, 40 day of abundance, program that she did in 2024.
Awesome. Yes, that's amazing. Now, how that makes you feel when you say that? Good. Okay. All right, you didn't hold it in. All right, made you feel good. All right, Tonda.
After 9 years of teaching in several different places, I became dean of students at a middle school, and I was there for 5 years, and I became the most well-known dean to transform middle school students. Parents would come to me and say thank you after I would have just suspended their child, because they knew that I cared and I knew how to communicate with not only the student, but the parents to make their student better.
Love it. Love it. All right, we're going around. Come on, Kim.
Okay, let's see here. This week I turned in the draft to my chapter for anthology. There is a group of predominantly white, and it's okay, business women in Loudoun County, and they've asked me to do a chapter in their book, which is gonna be a book, for new entrepreneurs. And, I said yes, and I turned in my chapter. It feels really, really good.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna keep going around.
Advocating for people who have not been able to advocate for themselves and not standing down because of wicked stuff.
Love it, love it. We need people to advocate for one another, so that's awesome. I'm gonna just, we won't finish, but the reason why I'm having y'all do this, cause you can see, it's so uncomfortable for us as women to talk about what we do. It's so uncomfortable. We're just like, them to get to where they need to be.
Yes.
Love it.
I hate to make it about military, but I haven't said anything about it. So, I'm gonna brag on the fact that I just completed, I'm in the Army Reserve. I just completed the Sergeant's Major Academy. And it was extremely difficult because I had to do a distance learning, so it was 18 months.
Oh.
And then you go to, Fort Bliss for the final.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah, I'm class 59, been a while, but yeah.
Still work.
Yep.
So that was big for me because I wasn't gonna do it, and I tell the story, Fonda and, Donnell, I'm sorry. They called me on why I was, cause I said I wasn't gonna do it, and they asked why, and they called me on the BS, the excuses that I was making, and I decided to do it, and I'm glad I did. I was in a fashion show with all the other young ladies in here that I would have never thought from a year ago that I would, because I came to a fashion show last year. You could have told me 12 months later I would have been in one this year.
In a swimsuit.
So I did a lot. I'm proud of myself, and
Yep, did a lot.
I was in a big contest too.
Yep.
I started my own business. I did my own policies and procedures for the Virginia Department of State Health, and passed the same day.
Slave queen, huh?
You know, so AJ's in basketball, y'all. And I have to say, and I was telling Mike, earlier today, keeping up on his schedule and his travel, and if you have like anyone in travel basketball and be able to manage your business at the same time, I thought there was gonna be a lot of conflict. And I was able to say no to the things that I didn't need to be a part of, and I was like, I'll just meet you on the next thing. I just not gonna go because I did not wanna miss our son actually praying or me even taking him to practice. Those small talks, they're priceless. You cannot get those back. So I've been proud of myself because I actually said no to a lot of things. And in reality, they were making space for the yeses. So.
I love that. And I'm glad you said that. So again, it's us getting out of our comfort zone to talk about ourselves. We'll talk about everybody else, but don't talk about yourself. Get yourself, honor yourself, honor your voice, honor who you are and who you are becoming. And I love that you talked about being able to say no. Because you can say no with love, because that's knowing more about yourself. And sometimes you gotta say yes to yourself. And I talked about it the other day about my book, my first chapter in my book. I talk and go into detail about me as a parent being in the military and how I sacrificed so much and I lost all of my son's high school years. And every time I think about it, I think about how I thought that I was so successful because I was this command sergeant major, doing division command sergeant major with the Army Corps of Engineers, doing all these great things, cool things. But I missed 4 years of my son's life in high school. So for you to honor your son and his time and making sure that you're there with him, that is so important. Because we can't lose track of the things that matter most in our lives. So that's why you have to know yourself, know your voice, know how to say no, know to do the things that matter. And so I want people not to do that time back. And my son is now 33 years old, and he still remembers me coming to his graduation. And because I wasn't even supposed to be there, I was deployed, and I wound up coming to his graduation. I surprised him, and when he saw me, y'all, it was like he was a little kid again. He ran up to me like, my mom is here, my mom is here. And then he was like, she made it, and I say it in the book. Those 3 words haunt me to this day. She made it. And so that's why it's important. I know I got into a story, but when you brought that up, I just want us to know that being able to say no
Yeah.
and to take care of the things that matter, like your family, you gotta be able to do that. And so, yeah. So again, brag on yourself. Every day, stand in front of the mirror. Yes, I love that. I love what she just said. Tanya just said, I'm so cute. I'm so cute. Stand in front of the mirror every day. Give yourself a declaration, affirmation, whatever you want to call it, but say it to yourself and stand in front of the mirror when you do it. I stand in front of the mirror every day and say, thank you, God, for making me a woman. Thank you for making me black. Thank you for letting me be here on this earth at this time. So, I'm gonna give it back over to you.
Well, I think you brought up to, the word that keeps popping in my mind is intentionality. Being very intentional with our time, with our words, our presence, our energy. There are some days where I have lower energy, I've shared that, and I have to intentionally make sure that I don't present that way, especially in large spaces where there are a lot of people, because you never know what opportunity is there. So all I think about is being opportunity ready, all right? What do I need to do every single day? If someone came up on the street and talked to me for some odd reason, am I ready? Because, you know, God puts people in our places, and a lot of times we don't see it. And so some random person can talk to you, and then you be like, why is this person talking to me? What do they want? You know, I ain't got time for all this. And it could have been the blessing right there, but you weren't paying attention because you weren't fully present. And so we have to be intentional. So when it comes to your brand, and we'll talk about this, the branding, being very intentional. So when I go to the store, and I'll tell you, I shop a lot, because that's just what I do. I shop for others too. So I'm an image consultant, so I do a lot of shopping. I know Tom. I just don't go pick things out on the rack. It has to call me. It has to scream at me. And when it does, I'm like, yup. If it's pink and it's got a certain, I'm communicating, okay? I wanna communicate through the clothes. But I'm getting to that point now with everything I'm doing. I talk to my mom, I'm very intentional about what I'm saying to my mom. Because she's 75, she changed her name, y'all, her pronunciation of her name went from Deborah to Deborah. Because she said, I want a new life. So I'm being very intentional what I'm saying to her, so that way I can keep her on track to what she wants to do with the rest of her life. You know, I'm being very intentional with my husband. Okay, so these are boundaries I have created with my husband, especially after we retired. We were both in the military, so we carried masculine energy, okay? So he told me that he wanted a wife. He wanted somebody soft. This is after we retired, you know, and I said, you know what? You're saying something that I really need to pick up on, because I really knew that when we have discussions, I can go there. In fact, I'm trying to get up here, all right? And he'd be like, hey, like, you gotta bring it on down, you know, bring it on down here. And I really couldn't understand that. So now my words to him are very intentional. When he asks me what I want, I tell him exactly what I want. I used to be a little bit like, you know, because we're both we're working at a very high level, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of ways that, you know, we can be off, and I don't want that. But now I'm like, no, you're doing it wrong. Okay, like that, my needs have changed, right? And he's saying the same things to me. My needs have changed. it's all about how you do your life. I guess it's a lifestyle, creating a new lifestyle for yourself, if that's what you want to do. And in the branding, it's now everybody knows. They know the boundaries. They know what you're stand for. They know your core values. They know what's most important to you, because you're doing it on purpose. It's repeatable. It's intentional. So think about how you want to do your day. Start your day. I'm always working. So you'll see me on the treadmill or bike or whatever. And I don't necessarily do it now to run the young man down on the track, because I used to be that woman, okay? So I'll make you throw up in a trash can and you're gonna run against me. So now I'm like, I just wanna move, okay? I just wanna stay upright. I just want my body to feel good, right? But it had to change. So whatever you're doing right now during the day that makes you feel good, what makes you feel like your best every single day, that's it. Whatever that is. Think about the outfit, think about the conversations, think about the people that are around you, think about your family, think about the day and what brought you life. That is the brand. And you can repeat that every single day, over and over and over again. If you're creating community, this is how you create community, because you'll get like-minded. You start seeing people change, all right? You'll start seeing people like more of your time, wanting access. And we'll talk about access, because access, you can't give access to everybody, right? I blocked a lot of people when I retired because they weren't for me. It was very transactional. It was like, you've got the brain, I want this, okay, but now we're not friends. Like, now I'm very, I don't spend my time with people that I know are not for me. So make sure you don't have access and say yes to everything and everybody, because you're not meant for everybody. And they are not meant for you. Yeah, so I would say that, of really being intentional and doing it over and over again, it gives people a sense of that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen.
Love it, love it. So I'm gonna talk real quick about the acronym that I use all the time, and everybody knows me. It is COMMAND. And it's not command just because command sergeant major. It's not because of that. It's not because of the military at all. But when we think about command, you think about command like meaning authority, like, giving an order or something like that, because we're all military minded. But when I think about command, I'm thinking about command from self-leadership. Like, what do I need to do to command my life? To take command of me as a human being, what do I need to do? And so that acronym is based off of AI and tech and everything as well, but it's really about how do you take care of yourself? And so the C is to clarify. Clarify your vision, clarify your mission, clarify what you want to do. You have to have clarity, because even when you're using technology, AI, or anything like that, you have to be able to give that tool. And again, I'm saying it's a tool. I'm gonna stress again, it's a tool. That's all that it is. You are the human being, you are the one with the judgment, you are the one in command, not the tool. So you gotta be able to have clarity on what it is that you need that tool to help you with and what it needs to provide. The O is then to optimize what it is that you need that tool to do. So when we say optimize, the first thing, a lot of people use AI just to get questions answered. But you need to use AI strategically and use it with intentionality. So when I say that, if you need to research things, if you need to build systems to help you to be able to get rid of those things that you do repeatable, like your email. I know a lot of people are like, I don't wanna use AI to look at my emails and all that stuff. But if you got 50 million emails and you can't go through them, and you through it faster, why not use it? Anyway, and there's so much stuff that you can use, so that's just an example. Find out how you can optimize with AI. Then the next thing is to make sure that you merge your human capacity with your AI or with technology. So when I say human capacity, let the machines do the machine work, you do the human work. So you wanna find out how can you merge what it is where you still have judgment in what you need to do, the decision making, but you let that tool help and support you to get things done more efficiently. And that's all that it is. The next thing is about you. Master your energy. Rochelle talked about it. We give our energy out to so many people. And we always talk about time management. Time management is important, but I would say your energy management is more important. How do you manage your energy? Energy is transferable, y'all. We know that, right? And when you're around negative people who are draining your energy from you, that takes away from the things that you need to do that really matters. And sometimes energy draining people could be family members. And sometimes you gotta be able to tell family members, you know, I love you, but I can't right now. I'm sorry, I love you. Maybe at another time we can discuss this and whatever, but you gotta figure out what are those things that are draining your energy. So that's very important. Everybody saying that's a hard one. Because you want, again, coming back to being humble, coming back to being the one that does everything. As women, we carry everything, all that good. Not saying that our men don't,
Right.
but we carry a whole lot. And so we gotta realize, where are we putting our energy at where we don't need to? Where are we wasting our time at? So that's important. Next thing is to anchor your systems. You gotta put systems in place. So I tell everybody, you don't think, you be like, well, I don't use systems. Yes, you do. You use an alarm clock, that's a system. You use that alarm clock to get up, because if you don't, then you miss work, then you got a whole lot of things. If you're still working, or if you gotta go work out or something like that, that's a system. Make sure that you have solid systems in place to help you to do the things that really matter. And then nurture longevity. That means making sure that you're taking care of yourself holistically. I like that you talked about the mental health, because as women, we don't like to talk about it, but we struggle with mental health issues. And we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to express ourselves. You see how hard it was for us just to say one good thing about ourselves? You know, but you gotta be able to get it out, and that's important. So you have to look at yourself from a holistic standpoint. Holistic, that's everything. And then lastly is the liver, the D. This is so important to me because Rochelle brought it up when she was talking about that presence. Welcome, we glad to have you. So when we talk about the last D in command is presence. Deliver with presence. Everything that you need to do, you need to be present in that moment for it. Yes, we talk about vision, making sure you know what you want to do a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, but don't lose sight of what's happened to you right now in the present moment. Don't lose sight of all the women that's in this room right now. You don't know if somebody in this room has something that you need. Until you actually live in the present moment, talk to somebody, find out who they are, what they need, and don't be afraid to say what you need to people. So realize and understand, deliver with presence. And also about your branding, when you walk into a room, okay, y'all, this phone. Most of the time, you see people, they come into a room, they have their phone in their hand, what they doing? They don't even look, they don't even talk to nobody, they just walking with the phone.
On the street like
On the street, you see them. When you walk into a room, you need to open up. Even if you just open up, you feel good when you open up. You just feel like you're in command when you walk into that room. You know, you wanna be able to speak clearly. You wanna open your mouth, let everybody know that you're there. Hey, how you doing, sis? Don't be afraid to tell somebody, hello, how you doing today? Cause you'll know you can make the difference in somebody's life just by saying, hello, how you doing today? Do you need anything? say, see, we got an inside joke here, so yeah, I gotta. If somebody, I don't even wanna say it, but if somebody tell you you're beautiful, just take it as a compliment. It's a compliment. There's nothing wrong with telling somebody else they look good. Hey, I like the way you look. Nothing wrong with that. But take command and make sure that you deliver with presence. Yes. So, y'all, we're just gonna do this. It is 8:07. We normally like take a 10-minute break. Plus, we wanna take a group picture while we got everybody together. Cause we know if we wait to the very end, everybody be trying to just, yeah. So, if y'all don't mind, if we can get a group picture now.
But don't leave because we got a follow-on conversation.
Yes, we got a whole bunch going on. This is just a 10-minute break we're gonna take a quick picture. Go ahead, get some water, get something to drink. Bathroom is right here if you need to use the bathroom. And then we're actually gonna do some AI stuff.
Where you want us?
I guess, how do you want us? Yeah, you are tall. Come on, ladies, don't be afraid. We're gonna take a beautiful picture.
Oh, no, it's a trim with like.
If you're on the shorter side, you should be in the front.
How do you want us?
If you're on the shorter side, you should be in the front. Can we push those chairs back? So basically, somebody should be in front of somebody else, not directly in front of each other, but kind of just into each other.
Cover up these eyes.
Jackie, can you come in? Morning.
Yeah, cover these arms.
Right there in the middle. Well, Jackie, yeah. That's fine. You here, can you come behind, tell me your name again. Nitra. In the pink. No, it's easy. No, it's easy. Can you and her switch?
Me?
You and the pink hair switch with the one in the yellow jacket.
Oh, okay.
Cause you're taller. Slide just a little this way. No, not you, just her. Yep, you.
Me?
Yep, just slide that. Yep, right there. You come in.
Talk to me, I can't see you. Cause I got my glasses on.
Okay, I think that's good. That's good. Alright, big smiles, ready, on 3, 1, 2, 3. One more, on 3, BGA, 1, 2, 3. BGA! Alright, that's good.
I'm the same,
I'm gonna stand in the spot, guys.
I know, I was right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yep, you were right. You were right here. Yeah, you had bent down a little, just a little bit. I'll say wait till you.
Alright, y'all ready?
Yep.
Jackie, just a little bit, yo.
I know, lead on.
Alright, cool. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more. Alright, oh my God. Jackie, you go first. And I try not to, I'm not gonna get violent.
You go over there and just get a whole bunch of. Okay, ladies, now you're gonna talk. Okay, we did a whole lot of talking in here. So we would love to hear what has came to your mind, some of the thoughts about what we have shared, because we wanna create a little bit of space for clarity. So some of us have came with an idea of who we want to be known for, or what we want to do for our next, whatever that looks like. So is anyone willing to share?
I'm trying to process what you just said.
So, we did a whole lot of talking, so just wanna know your takeaways first of all. And then we're gonna be stepping into AI tools. So, if you are in AI, what would you be coming from, or what identity would you be? So let's talk about it.
Well, the first one would be, I would want to be known for my business Reaffirm Vibes. We're reaffirming the positive, in both, body care as well as candles and aromatherapy. My second one I would want to be known for is, having the best auxiliary, because I am a co-founder of a, auxiliary, that falls up under a military fraternity. So I want to be known for that and giving positive women, the space to not only be a part of this auxiliary, but to also showcase their businesses and everything. So that's what I would want to be known for.
And this is the profile, which is glorified gamma.
So it's,
I love that. So 2 identities. Have you ever thought about merging?
merging both. So, funny story, it is a little bit merged, because now that I'm no longer the worthy archon, which is president, I am now the grant advisor, and our initiative is for dementia care. So that ties into Reaffirming Vibes, and then my ladies, they're with me to help me push this initiative forward, to help not only the people that, deals with dementia, but those caregivers, because people forget about the caregivers. So I created a candle called Mind Care, and when, the candle comes, when I finish creating the candle, I will also have a book to help with, to go along with the candle. And Yolanda is helping me,
my takeaways from what we've been talking about today, you said opportunity ready, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk more of you about that, but opportunity ready, being ready, you never know when that's coming, you never know when opportunity could be sitting right beside you. You also talked about expression through your appearance. I think you ladies are doing a beautiful job of that today. Of course, I noticed that as soon as I came in the room, but I love that. You talked about the masculine feminine shift. I wanted to hear more about that, but that's probably another conversation. But- Cause that's a real one for women who are leaders, knowing how to lead from your feminine versus leading from the masculine. So I would love to talk more about that. But what I wanna be known for is touching on, kinda like what I mentioned earlier about continuing to helping individuals to reach that better version of themselves by understanding themselves, getting more connected with themselves. And I really wanna command the space with individuals and take this to government and businesses, so in that consulting space, so
Yeah.
that's my lane that I'm working on.
Yeah, and we definitely have people in the community who can get you ready for that. Because, have you worked in the government space before?
I'm working on a federal contract now, so, yes, but in my business, no, that's what I'm in the process of now.
Yeah. So I think UGA County offers.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're in a perfect, space for that, because there are things that you need to do, for sure, to align your business and position it the way that it needs to be, so that's there. And, also the brand, what you're speaking to. I like to think that more is better in spaces where there are a lot of people who occupy the space. There are a lot of mental health providers. What's gonna separate you from everybody else? And that's the point that I like to make, is that space, it's the gap. So there are 1,001 speakers. What makes people want to reach out and say, hey, Rochelle, Yolanda, we want you to speak, right? It has to be so loud, and it has to be different and come from a different angle. So I like you to think about that. From the masculine femininity, so I'm still working on mine. It is a process because we've been conditioned. We had to be in male-dominated environments where we had to hold, and we had to compete. And so, you take on their energy. And so when it's time for you to be more soft and more empathetic, more nurturing, it can be overwhelming. I had a lot of anxiety when I was younger because I wanted to be in control. So when you go out and drive around here, y'all, you have no control. It's like people are spinning in and out, and I'm like, ah! And I'm getting upset because I can't control the way that people think and how they, make decisions on moving from lane to lane. But then I had to really train myself. So we have to train ourselves to come out of that space because we weren't made as a man. We had to take on the behaviors and the characteristics so that way we can succeed in those areas. So it has, like I do daily. So there's a thing. So I have a son, of course, and I practice on him. Because my husband and I, we've been married for 24 years. So anyway, so I'm like, hey, AJ, how you doing? He's like, I'm fine. I'm like, no, how you really doing? And he's like, and I think he's catching on, but I wanted to not be so straightforward into it and tell me the answer. I'm trying to creep up into it now. I'm not forcing myself on, tell me what to do, right? Tell me what you're doing. So we have to, it's a reprogramming, it's a reconditioning. And I think that's why I took on the color pink. It's so extreme.
one in pink is not hard. You know what I mean? So it's just like you have to do some things for yourself. You have to train yourself better now. But I absolutely love how you're wanting to position yourself as the federal marketplace now. But there's a lot of things that you have to do.
Yeah, I'm in the process
Yeah.
of doing those things, your differentiators and all of that stuff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And that's just not in the federal space, that's as an entrepreneur. in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
What sets you apart
Oh,
from
no.
anybody
I was just
else.
referring to you. Great. Anyone else? Yeah.
I'd say, I started a couple years ago, but I only wear dresses to work. Because I want to be seen as soft. And as a black woman, oftentimes we can be seen as strong black woman. I don't think I'm strong, I fall over. So I move very slow at work. I speak in a very soft tone. I pause a lot. I even go to meetings with something to drink, even if I'm not thirsty. But it encourages, as people are talking, I'm sipping. I do anagrams while I'm sitting at work and people are talking. It creates a conversation piece. People are like, what are you doing? Anagrams are when you take a word and you make a bunch of other words with it. I do the reverse. I'll come up with a phrase and I'll just write the first letter of each of that word in the phrase. So you don't know what it is. It looks like a bunch of shorthand or like scribble, but it creates a conversation. But it's also, I'm silent, but I'm still present because you see me writing, right? And so I'll do a lot of those things to be seen as soft. But it also, I've noticed, has increased my presence. So there's people who know me that I may not even know who they are. But everybody's talking about, there's this, I mean, she's official. You ask her to get something done, she's gonna get it done, but she's very quiet. She's always looking nice, she's always wearing dresses, makeup, hair is always cute, classy, and covered. Right?
I love those ones.
You know, and
Cute,
so.
classy, and covered.
Cute, classy, and covered, always. Nothing too tight, nothing too short, nothing too revealing. And I have noticed that it has served me very well. Like I said, that's all I wear. You rarely see me in pants at work. I think I've worn pants twice, and that's only because I had to tour the ED. Other than that, I always wear dresses. So people are like, I've never seen you in pants. Right? But there's something about a woman in a dress, and especially if it's a flowy dress, and as you walk, you sway naturally. It creates a softness. It's a psychological thing, so that people will come to me.
Yep.
They'll change their tone when they're talking to me. And so that's how with my branding, for my business with Endlessly Cherished, and I picked the word cherished because I want it to be cherished. Cherished is different from love. You could love a sweatshirt and tear that thing up, but when you have something you cherish, like jewelry or something that's very valuable, you're very meticulous, intentional, right? All of those things, and those are all things that I want for me, and so that's the brand that I'm projecting.
I love it. I'm just eating this all up, y'all. Yeah. You gave us a lot. Well, I know for me, I don't know what, I'm not gonna speak for everybody else, but you gave me a lot to think about, where all the things, the little details, you know, of how you carry yourself when you're at work and why you do what you do.
It's all intentional. Like even, so I don't wear heels now because I work in a hospital, but I used to work for Defense Health Headquarters, and I used to wear heels. And I would listen to the click of my heels to be like, oh, I'm walking too fast, let me slow down. And I would slow down. And then it became like a calling card. Like people would hear me coming before they saw me. And they would all be looking, and I'd be looking back, who are we looking for? And they're like, you. But it was like you said, it was training myself, because that's not who I was before. I wore pants and and I was just never, but like I said, I've noticed that it's just different. People receive you differently. Not to take away from, like I said, I'm always gonna be a black woman, so I'm always gonna be intimidating, even if I'm not trying. I'm always gonna be, whatever, you can't escape what's in people's mind. But for the majority of people that have either interacted with me or heard about me, they want to interact with me. And that's that experience that they're experiencing, is they're experiencing someone who's very soft, very quiet, so you're gonna have to come to me. But even that works for me, because you're coming to me. I'm not chasing you. You saw me and you were like, I need to know that, or I wanna know more And so, like I said, for me, it has been very helpful, and it's good for me, because as I cherish myself and I learn to cherish myself, I'm teaching other people, oh, I move slow, so if you wanna talk to me, you're gonna have to move slow. Or, I'm very soft-spoken, so if you wanna talk to me, you can't yell at me, because I'm not gonna respond. I'm gonna get really quiet. Right? And so you're teaching people without being like, look, let me tell you what we're not gonna do.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not doing that,
Yeah.
I'm doing like, you know, and I'll just sometimes just sit there. But people know,
Yeah, they know.
they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I'm training people, or even when I post meetings, like you said, I have posted meetings and I've been the youngest and the only Black person in the room. And I use my physical presence, I'll stand up and I'm wearing a bright pink dress or a bright coral dress, and I purposely wore that dress that day because I knew it was gonna be seen.
Yep.
You can't miss me.
Yep.
So I'll stand up, hey, I think we're
Power off.
up, everyone. Is there any other questions before we close? I switched to my facilitator's voice.
She codes.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been amazing. If you have any questions, please just, my name's Amanda Thomas, just let me know. And then we move on. But it's like, because I sound like that, people are like, oh, she said, oh my God, I'm so glad I finally met you. Everybody says you're so sweet. I was like, well, thank you. I'm so glad I met you too. So, but yeah, I really do. I really only wear dresses
That's what I look like.
at work and at conferences. Any of those, the only time I wear pants is when I'm hiking.
I love that. It's you. It's what you decided. It's a choice that you made for yourself, and then people recognize that. So, love that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
I just want to say, what you just said made me reflect on myself. And I think it goes back to what you said about being very intentional. You have a persona that you find gets the job done, and it speaks to you and it speaks to everyone else. And I think everyone around here probably has done that, and you made me think about how I see myself and how I've been successful in my teaching career, because my persona in front of students is different from the persona that I have with my peers and with the parents. With my students, I am very direct. I'm very different from every other teacher they've had, because they probably never had a Black female teacher. I teach in a district that is majority white students or either Asian of some background. And I'm the first and probably the last. And I teach advanced biology, so the parents are impressed that I'm in the space. And the students have to experience me the way I experience them. And I'm very direct, and I'm not like anybody else, and I will tell you and I will love you. And that's what I'm gonna do. Beginning of the year, everybody's scared of me. End of the year, I cannot get them away from me. It's like, get out of my room. No, but it is, and they tell me, I've had a young man tell me about his first experience before. And I'm like, you're like, what's happening? Exactly, it's like, why are you telling me? But I'm like, okay,
I
it
don't
just,
have nobody else to talk to.
he did not have anybody, because he was of Asian descent, he's not even supposed to be doing any of that, or even telling his parents that. But I really love what you said, because what you do works for you, and it to me, it teaches people how to treat me.
Yeah.
I teach my students how to treat me. You will not disrespect me. I go back to the Black mama, you will not say, huh? You will not, and they respect that, even though they haven't heard that in their home, because their home is not like that. They get to say whatever they want to their parents, and it's a rich neighborhood, so they have all the money that they can ever want. But if they learn how to respect the setting, and I was like, I will love you, but you will not do this, and they don't do it. And I can raise my voice, and I can lower it, and I get quiet, they know they need to get quiet, and it's that. Parents are a little bit different, and I've had to learn how to have a reputation. I've had siblings, and, the kids will tell their parents how I am.
to them. And that's all the parents want. They want you to love their kid, take care of their kid. If they feel like that's happening, then they don't bother you. And then my peers, I just talk to them in kind of way. They know. Don't bother Miss Jones. Yes, thank you for that.
Kim, you were gonna say something?
Yes, kind of the legacy, and then it also goes with the feminine. So the legacy, an example of this recently, after I retired last year from the Air Force. And I was at someone else's retirement party, and I saw one of my airmen from a long time ago. And she walked in, I couldn't remember her name, because I'm not that good with it. But I was able to touch her, and she turned around, she's like, ah, she hugged me. And she said to me, she said, you helped me. And I had helped her. She was a air crew, enlisted air crew. By the time she was in a basic military training squadron. And in basic military training, you have to look the part, act the part, everything needs to be right. But she was young and she got pregnant. And she didn't know what to do and she was scared. And I was her chief. So she came to see me. And she said, I helped her. And I said, because I remember, I said to her, I said, you were pregnant? She said, yes. I said, your baby has to be like 6 now. And she's like, yes, the baby's 6 now. And so we had that whole conversation. That's part of the legacy, but during that same time, that's when I started studying feminine archetypes. Because I started saying, I want to be a feminine leader, but I wasn't calling it, and there's nothing wrong with this, I wasn't calling that a color or a feeling. I instead said, I need to study the feminine. And for me, feminine is receptive, where masculine is assertive and active. And so when I started studying the feminine, that led me to the Deborahs in the Bible, or it led me to, I study a lot of stuff. Took me to Pallas Athena. It took me to the Valkyrie. It took me to the different feminine aspects in different mythologies, so that I could figure out, because I wasn't taught that. I would say that I come from generations of black women that had to be so strong, right? They had to be the survivor. They had to be the only one there. And so then I had to figure out, oh, we've just been surviving, and I'm one of the first generation that's able to thrive. And that's when I also figured out I didn't know how to thrive. And I had to learn how to back up a little bit and breathe a little bit. And give myself permission, because I have to say, I can breathe now. Where mama them may not have been able to breathe, but I can. Mama them, grandmama them, their men were getting hanged, and they were, because I had to go through my family history. They were getting hanged. There's a whole cemetery. My family is Choctaw, and they're Choctaw and Choctaw Freedmen, and they are still buried to this day in a segregated cemetery. And when I first went to that cemetery as a little girl, there are nothing but women in that whole area of the cemetery. I said, where are the men? And they could not explain to me where the men had gone. So to me, that's generation after generation of the women who did not have a man, so they had to be that. So then part of me understanding masculine and feminine was understanding where it came from in my own bloodline and where it came from in my own ancestry, and to study, how do I undo some of that? It may not even be undo, how do I understand it? And then how do I turn that thing a little bit? Because I'm also raising a man. I mean, my son is 19, right? And I want him to be a man, but I want him to understand what that means. I want him to understand. So my legacy is still, I want to be that safe space for someone to come and say, I want to have a conversation. I mean, there was a lieutenant, a male lieutenant, that was important, where he came to me and he said, I am afraid to get my wife pregnant. And he was afraid because he knew he was going to have to leave the family and deploy and all these other things. But he needed a safe place. And so I learned that my feminine is receptive, and I'm able to listen, and I'm able to be a safe space. And I had to bring the volume down, because there were times where I'm at the table, right? I did the enlisted pilot program. That was my program, to bring enlisted pilots from the Air Force. I had to, but there were times even at that table where I had to bring the volume down. When Colonel so-and-so and such and such, hey, we don't have to do that. The Air Force gave us a mission, we have to do it. We don't have to yell at each other. We don't have to demean each other, right? And so that became my way. Like, I think all of us are going to have a different way to access our feminine, right? And that became my
That goes back to command and intentional, all those things, just.
And I think as black women, I mean, I come from a long line of black women. And we will love you and then turn around and chop your head off. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, call it masculine, call it whatever you wanna call it, but that's just who we are. And I think about it, I have a brother, and, my brother's not married, and I told him the reason he's not married is because he can't find one of us, right? And he says all the time, he says, you know, I love you all, but I am glad I'm not your husband, all right? I said, but you know, we've all been married 20, 30 years, so we must be doing something right, right? But I don't think we should get so caught up in that we need to change to become, I'm not feminine if I'm not. You are I am my experiences. And, you know, hey, I was not military, but my husband was. So I was mama, I was daddy, I was everything at the same time, right? And there's another one on there, mamas hold it down, right? You do what you need to do, and I don't apologize. I'm just unapologetic of who I am. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of those women that went before me that, you know, made it possible that I can say no, that I don't have to do those things. You know, so don't get so hung up on, I need to be more feminine. I need, you are who you are. I mean, and it's beautiful. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So don't apologize for it. Be unapologetic and go out there and do whatever it is you want to do.
I received that. I received it.
I received
that.
that.
I was so, I know you want to say something, go ahead, we want to make sure.
So, I'm a tomboy. I have single mom, been in the military for 23 years, 4 daughters, a granddaughter. Thank God that we have our first grandson coming on the road. And I've always been a tomboy. I think to this day, my sister who's retired, so me and my sister, I was just telling me and my sister, she's retired Army, she's retired Navy, I'm retired Army. We always have this love fight about it the whole entire time. To this day, my sister will buy my clothes for me, mail them to me, and that's where I get all my outfits from, for everything. Me and her have been on this, we gain weight, we lose weight, we're on this weight loss journey, now, and like I have no clothes that fit me because of how much weight I lost. And like she'll come up, I feel uncomfortable going to stores, and I'll go put something on, and she's like, you look great. No, I don't. You don't just get it. No. She'll like, I'll take it off, she'll go take it to the register and go pay for it. So, and that's just like, that's the big sister bully, the warden.
The warden.
That's her nickname. My mother, we call her, that's her nickname. She's been the warden for the past 15 years. So, every time she gets mad, my mother like, the warden's calling you. But, I'm comfortable when everybody's like, oh, well, you just, okay, I'll be the tomboy. That's just how I am. I'm comfortable. I mean, it got to the point, I'll say within the past 5 years of me being 49, I'm now comfortable with my skin. And I used to be upset when people used to say, oh, you look like a boy, or how you're dressing tomboyish. And I used to get mad because I had to deal with that aspect of it. I hated wearing makeup or dealing with that aspect of it because it felt uncomfortable for me. Now it's the point that if I wear it, I wear it. If I don't.
So I'm glad everyone is talking about them as an individual.
Yeah.
And I'm glad what you said here. If you know yourself. You know how you wanna not just self-regulate, but you also know social management. You know how you want people to look at you, and that's having emotional intelligence. That's exactly what that is. You understand who you are. And you're like, I'm unapologetic about it, just like me. I'm loud and proud. And that's just me. I'm not changing for anybody. I'm not code switching. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just me. And everybody who knows me knows I'm me. Don't even say nothing, they gonna be.
I can't talk like that to kids. I gotta switch.
But that's because you know what, but that's the environment that you're in.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
has their
It's the environment,
lived,
yes.
their lived experience. It's based on the environment that you are in, the experiences that you have had. So love that. Lean into your experiences. You know, it's nothing wrong with it. If I went into a soft girl era, most people be looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with Yolanda?
No, you are so what?
I'm not that soft.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Look at her.
I be putting it on like,
You are very slick. Some
You-
girls,
yeah,
every rose has thorns.
I know,
You
but
are
I'm just, no, but
She
no,
is-
what I'm trying to say is, be you.
Yes.
Be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. And so when it comes back to Brandon and how we present ourselves, you are uniquely you. You are nobody
Love
else.
me.
Everybody at this table is different and got something unique that you can bring.
And we
Oh,
know
that's-
sometimes we're in environments where you can't let it all hang out, so, you know, it's kind of, like, you know, it's, you know who you are, you know, and you do what you need to do there, and then, you know, you go about your business.
Go about your business. I love it. I love it.
You know, I love all the conversation. I do want to also say, if you want to do something different, that's your business. You know what I mean? So, we all have what we have been brought through, but there are seasons of your life where you can say, the old me is not going to be that tomorrow.
And the words that you use will change.
Yeah.
About yourself. And your voice will change.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
So let's talk about AI.
So, what we're gonna do real quick, since Tom has got on, and this is good, we're gonna skip some things real quick. But I want y'all to, scan that code. Scan that code. Cause it's gonna be something you're gonna see when you scan that code. Oh, you did yourself? Alright, when you get there, you're gonna get to a landing page. On that landing page, it's going to be some resources that's on there. It's going to be some prompts that's gonna help you to learn your voice, to actually get clarity on some things. But what I want everybody to do now is to hit that big yellow button that says, build your digital twin. It's a quiz you're gonna take, it's 5 questions, real quick. Go ahead and do the quiz. Answer the questions honestly, don't overthink it. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? If you get to the end of the quiz and it's just a blank green screen, hit start quiz again and do it one more time. I don't know why it's a glitch in the system. I know I heard the airdrop too. Alright, did anybody get to the end of their sentences and it said build your digital twin? And it'll tell you your name? Okay, so you should have got something that'll say you're the architect, or you're the luminary, or you're the, okay, I want you to hit that other button that says build your digital twin. And then, from your phone, you can take a picture, or you can choose a picture and upload that picture. Choose a picture or take a picture. did you get the luminary? Yep, now hit again, build. You're gonna take a picture or upload a picture. And then you're gonna put your name, of course, y'all, I got it, we already got your email information anyway, but you can put your email in because it's gonna all be mailed to you, so that's fine. You hit agree, and then you hit generate my twin, and what's gonna happen is that you're gonna get an actual frame that's gonna be with that picture. It's gonna say the brand type that you are. You can download that frame now, and you can share that on social media or use it anywhere you want. Then you're gonna have an avatar of yourself that's gonna be below there.
Oh, no.
And then you're gonna have a prompt that's going to be for your digital twin to help you with your voice. Did you do it, Mike? Mid back there, y'all do it, y'all do it too?
I gotta say, I am gonna do it.
Okay.
Oh, no, we gotta wait to see what you
Yeah, if you, where you at now? Oh, yeah, if you wanna download the frame, you can, and then it'll save to your file. And then, if you go even further down, everyone, you go further down, it'll say email, and it'll email everything to you.
You like your avatar? I do. Let me see it.
So we're gonna talk about these things too. You ain't finished your question? Oh, you already done. You already did your email, all that?
I did it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. It's based off of your picture you uploaded or you took.
That's my favorite.
Oh, it looks nice. What does yours look like? Oh. All right, y'all. So I did this as a fun exercise so y'all can see the power of AI. I built all this yesterday, sitting over Tanda's house in 45 minutes. The power of AI.
It turned me into a woman at first. A woman first.
It changed your soul?
It changed back to a man.
But I just wanted y'all to see too, but the main part is, each person got a persona from there. Somebody tell me what your persona is, and do you think that's kind of what you are? How can you relate to it? Who got something, who was a luminary? Anybody was a luminary? Okay. You struggle with the.
I was just reading into it, so I always, when quiz questions, I'm like, cause like the first question where it says when you walk into a room, I think the third answer was the one, if I walk into a room with a bunch of strangers, I'll say, hello, how you doing? So I don't know if that was take control of introductions, I don't know if that's what it was, okay, so I'm just reading into it.
You just answer the first thing that comes to your mind, you don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Anybody else, everybody, a couple of people overthought the questions? Okay, you look like you wanna say something.
What's a luminary though?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you don't think you're a luminary?
I don't know.
But it gives you an explanation.
Yeah, look at the explanation.
Oh, it's at the bottom, okay. It says,
You can't see?
Okay, we gonna come back to Jackie, anyone else?
oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, right at the top, okay, she doesn't ask
probably gotta go back through
Yeah.
and really not, go through the question. Anybody else get something that's totally different with what you think you are?
I think mine hit mine's pretty accurately, I would say.
Okay.
I was the architect.
Me too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my daughter was too, she was the architect too. And it, structured, your voice is structured, precise and calm, and explains the why behind the what. So I think
Yep.
that captures how I communicate.
Awesome. Anybody got something totally off from what you think you are? Nobody?
Where do you see what you are?
Okay, we'll get you in a minute. Okay, so we're gonna go on from there. So that was just a fun tool that I wanted everybody to have, and then it'll be emailed to you. And so you'll actually have that picture, you'll have the avatar, and you have that prompt that you can use. But if you go back, to actual, come back to the landing page, so you may need to, scan again. I'm gonna have everybody scan again, 'cause I'm gonna talk y'all through this. So y'all can have it, 'cause I know time is going fast. If you go back, it'll say resource 1, it'll be a worksheet where it says fill it in tonight. Everybody there yet? When you see that, you will see it will give you a formula. That formula is, you can use the architect or whatever one you had, or you can make up something if you want to, or whatever your role identity that you wanna have. Who, what do you uniquely do? Who do you do it for? And because you're gonna put in the truth that makes it real. And you're gonna actually use that prompt to come up with a way that you can introduce yourself. So that's one thing for you to do. Then we have a declaration for you to do. Y'all know I'm always gonna give you homework and stuff to do. One sentence that you're reclaiming tonight about yourself. What do you need to reclaim about yourself? And then as you go down to resource 2, there are gonna be 5 different prompts. These prompts each will give you different things. The first one is to teach AI to recognize your voice. So you're gonna use that prompt, but you gotta put in some examples of how you speak. If you have any talks that you have done, any papers that you have written, when you put this prompt into any AI tool, it could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, it could be Claude, whatever you use, your preference, make sure that you upload anything that you have written before. Because now it's gonna analyze your writing, it's gonna analyze the way that you speak. And then it's gonna help you to train that AI to know your voice. The next one is build my brand statement, what we just talked about, that's where that goes. The third one is make it sound human. We all know when we use AI tools that sometimes it talk like AI. You gotta make it talk the way that you want it to talk. So we wanna make it sound human, and so that's a prompt that's gonna get you going right there. The next one is, you know how it's so hard for us to talk about ourselves? A lot of us don't know our own story or how to articulate our story the right way. So prompt number 4 is to help you to find your origin story. Maybe it's an origin story for your business. It doesn't have to be your life, whatever it may be. Use that prompt for that, and that'll help you there. And then the last one is my personal AI ethics statement. It's gonna help you and guide you to come up with a way to govern yourself when you're using AI. So that's a statement frequently used. So I wanted to give y'all some resources there. And then the last thing is resource 3. And it's things for you to do tomorrow. Say it out loud, like I told y'all before. Stand in front of the mirror, make sure that you can be able to communicate and be proud of what you have to say about yourself. Day 2, say something about yourself publicly. Now, this comes down to that social media. If you are not on social media, and social media ain't for everybody, I'm gonna be honest with you, just like my sister Rochelle, I'm very intentional and strategic when I use social media. I only use LinkedIn, and I use that for my business mostly because I'm a speaker as well, and I'm also an AI consultant and trainer, and so that's where I get a lot of my business from. You will not see me out there posting any crazy stuff, dances, doing all that. No, I don't do all that. I'm wanna be known for, like we talked about earlier, and put that out there. And then number 3 is just refine everything with AI. So just kinda giving you some structure as you go down, you will see. I like giving away things, y'all. I give away a lot. They know me, I give away a lot. I also put another button in there that says explore command your start. If you hit that button, it'll open up, you put your name, email in there, you will get a free, tool that'll come down. It's gonna be a booklet with a whole bunch of prompts on helping you with clarity. Clarity in your business, with clarity in your life, all that. And then also is buttons on there, if you wanna reach me or Rochelle, is buttons on there as well to reach us. And then our websites are on here. I built this landing page sitting over Tanya's house. Listen,
That is mind blowing. And you said in 45 minutes you did this?
45 minutes.
I said, I'm sorry.
What did you say?
So that's just the power of AI. Just want, that's the power of AI. That's what you can do with AI. Use it strategically, use it for your planning, use it for your business. Don't just use it to answer questions for you, because AI can do a whole lot more for you. There's so many different tools out there that will help you with your productivity, that will help you to get organized, help you to get things in order. And so, yeah, I am here, I love AI. It's kind of my jam. So, yeah, I just put that out there, but we just wanna let you know that. What you got, Tammy?
I was saying, that's why y'all gotta take her class.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, shameless plug. I am starting the class here at VGA. It starts on Wednesday, the 15th, this Wednesday coming up. It is in person, but we're also doing a hybrid option as well. We're gonna get that up and running, because a lot of people are saying they can't come in, they live pretty far, but it's a whole lot of people that wanna do it in person, because I'm one of them people, I'm very hands-on oriented, and so I like to do workshop style. And so I wanna get behind and make sure you're doing stuff, because when you leave my class, I wanna make sure that you leave with tangible things, and you can go back off and running, and you don't need me to help you anymore. You can do it and move out and do it and make it happen. So, yeah, that class is here starting on Wednesday, it's a 4-week course. So, yep, Eventbrite, you can find that
once a week?
all that information.
Once a week?
Once a week on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8.
And that's an AI course?
That's AI, all AI. We're gonna be doing super agents. So we're gonna learn how to build an agent workforce. So that means first agent we're gonna build is your own chief of staff. We all know you gotta have your own chief of staff to help you to get organized and get things done. Then we're gonna go in and we're gonna make other agents based on what you need. So if you're an entrepreneur, you need to do marketing, get you an agent for marketing. We're gonna have email, all that stuff. So all these different, it just depends on what you need for your business or what you need for your life. And even simple stuff like on your phone, how many people use ChatGPT on their phone? Okay, and Claude on your phone, awesome, okay, because you can do a whole lot on your phone. You can set up agents that you can talk to your agents on the phone, and they'll do your work for you behind the scenes on your computer, on your laptop, away from you. So you don't even need to have the laptop with you. You can go ahead and talk on your phone, tell your super agent what you needed to do, and it'll do everything for you. It's a lot of stuff that's out there, a lot of technology. You can't be afraid of it.
Now to register?
Yes.
Is it hybrid? I'm in Barcelona.
Yes, we are getting it set up so that we can do hybrid, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we wanna make sure that it's a lot of AI consultants that are out there, and just so y'all know, I've gotten trained by, if you haven't heard of Alicia Little, she is the queen of AI, she is everywhere. And she does a whole lot of great things, that is my personal mentor, and I've learned a lot from her, and so, yeah, and it's a lot out here for all of us when it comes to AI. I do not want us to be left behind in this age of technology, because it is moving fast, but it's a lot out there, and it's a lot of opportunities. It's a lot of opportunities. A lot of people are saying they're afraid of it, but if you know it, you're gonna be needed. You're gonna be needed, and a lot of these big organizations are looking for we're building systems.
You can find it on veteransgrowingamerica.com/events.
Yep, yep. Awesome.
I just think that we had a great night. I don't know about y'all, but I feel fulfilled. I feel like we had a lot of sharing. We learned a lot. So don't be afraid to step out. Don't be afraid to do some things that you have never done before. I do want all of us to make sure that our brands are like solid. Gotta have a solid brand before you step out and use these tools, because you don't wanna confuse AI. So, making sure that you understand what branding is, you have the information, in the guidebook, but I also do transformational experiences. That's a one-on-one where I help you build a brand. And you build a brand that not only is seen, but it's unforgettable. One that attracts opportunities on repeat. I can honestly say, I average about 4 to 5 speaking opportunities a month. And it was all just putting information out there on LinkedIn. I have never sent a resume to anybody. So it works if you do it right. If you have a product or a service that you're selling, I convert you to be the face of the business instead of you being behind the business. Being the face of the business is different because people get a chance to know you, and once you have that know, like, trust factor in place, then more than likely they'll buy from you. But that's you sharing stories. I have a system on how to set up your brand, so that way you don't have to think about it and you're not, oh, well, what am I gonna post tomorrow? What am I gonna talk about, you know? You have a system, we work through the pillars, so that way you have, a method. I do blogs, I do newsletters, I do emails, and it's all just me. So you can do it too. 'Cause that's what we do. That's what we do.
That is
And
what
then
we
you can
do.
use your agents to do all the other things as well, so. Yes.
I can't help it, I've been sitting in the background taking all this in, so thank you, I appreciate this. One thing I will say about AI is I use it a lot, and I consider myself the best prompt engineer in the world. And by that I mean, you have to be very specific in what you prompt, what you ask. I do multiple iterations of what I'm looking for, and then I put it in my language that I want. So it's a trust but verify kind of thing. But I also tell it what I don't want it to do. Do not present this to me. I am not looking for this, and that kind of thing. I'm in the AI business in my life, and in what I do for work, and so I'm just very passionate. I tried not to say anything, but I just wanted to put that in there, and thank you for allowing me to listen in the background.
So Mike said something that's important when it comes to prompting, because people over prompt and don't understand it a lot. So one of the basic things with prompting is you have different prompting formulas. One is role, task, content, and also format. So the role is, just like we talked before, act as, whatever you want it to act as, and it'll do it. You could say, I need you to write something like a world-renowned publicist who makes $10,000 for each person that they work with. You can be specific like that in your role if you want to. Task is you have to know exactly what is the task that you want it to do for you. And even if you don't know the task, you can tell the tool, hey, I don't really know what I need to do here. Can you give me some recommendations on what I need? And it will tell you. And then the context. What do you want it actually break down? Do you need certain colors, ways, all the things that you need to go with it? And then format. How do you want your output to be? Do you need a Word doc? Do you need it in a PDF? Do you need a chart? How do you need that output to be? So those are kind of the basic ways that you do for prompt engineering, but I'm gonna just say something even more basic. Brain dump. Brain dump into the chat, and then at the front of it say, can you now formalize my ideas into a prompt? And it will do it for you. That's the simplest way to do it. People overthink this thing. It is have to iterate. Your first response is not the best response. You have to start training your tool, and in my class, I teach you how to train your tool so it knows you. It knows your voice, it knows your tone. It also knows what you don't like. Those are the constraints that you put in. Like, it knows, like, I don't use the word help. Don't put help in any of my stuff, because that's not a word that I use. So with certain words, like, it knows that I train it, hey, don't use this at all. I don't like having that sentences at the end of any kind of comment I make. Everybody know when you use AI, it always got that. No, don't do that, because that's not how I talk. So, it's ways that you can do it, but it takes time, and you have to use it. Even if you're only using it like 15 minutes a day, start training it. Start training it. Even though once you start using it, you're gonna get rewarded 15 minutes. But I'm just letting you know, just start using it. But yeah, we cannot be afraid of AI. It is a tool to support you. And we are almost at the end, ladies. We are at 9:20. It didn't go by fast. It didn't even seem
Thank you,
like
ladies, for a very informative, session. I learned a lot of food for thought. Looking forward to that class. Yes. Looking forward to that brand.
Don't forget that I gotta take a picture of your hair.
Oh, yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. All the young ladies tonight are beautiful. And like I said before, you're here because you needed to be here. We are thankful to be here with you. And so and when I say my sister Rochelle, we have been doing this a little bit for some time now. And, I just enjoy working with you, sis. I love your light, your spirit, and I'm so grateful for you. So.
And we always be matching.
Yes, we got her back. We got her back. So, if y'all don't know she the pink, I'm the green. Everybody knows green. So, I'm green. So.
Green.
Yes. All right, ladies. So
Stay connected, y'all. So
Yeah.
like, if you see somebody or you connect with me, I'll connect you with everybody else. I'm a connector on LinkedIn as well. Like, LinkedIn is my platform, so if that's the platform that you're on as well, then I will keep you into community. You will not be going anywhere, because once you get in,
You in.
You in.
You locked in.
you like this.
Same, we heavy on LinkedIn.
Yes.
But before we go, ladies, if y'all don't mind, we need to say a prayer or something. We can't just leave here without saying that or something. Just, yes. Yeah, we gonna stand up. We gonna hold hands. You know, we gotta hold hands and agree. We gotta touch and agree. All right, if everyone can bow their heads and close your eyes, we just want to say, Heavenly Father, we just thank you. We thank you so much for allowing us to come here tonight and to give you all the glory, all the honor, and the praise for each and every beautiful woman that is here today. God, you know what each and every one of us need. You know what's in our hearts, Father God. And Father God, we ask that you would just be with us. Be with us as we leave this place this evening. Allow us to get home safely. Allow us to take the knowledge that we have learned today, this evening, that we will not let it go to waste, that we will continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to do all that you have called us to do. Father God, we thank you. We thank you for each and every woman that is here today. We pray for their families. We pray, Father God, that you will give them the strength that they need, not just to carry on, but Father God, we ask that you will give them strength to leave that legacy for their family, to continue to lift them up. And when times get hard, Father God, that they can call on you, and they can call on the community that you have surrounded them with. I pray, Father God, that you will just surround each and every woman here today with the right people that
What Donnell at?
Question that you had asked. And you see it's a headband.
I'll send you the link to that one, because I tried several, and this one really just looks like. Takes me 5 minutes. Exactly, I'm not.
I think you should.